Check one, 1, 2. One more thing. Well, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you could go ahead and take your seats. All right. I'm going to go ahead and count back from 5 to 1. When I get to 1, I will need you all guys here in the room. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Connection Point. Hey, guys, welcome back. That was supposed to make that music stop. There you go. Good. Hey, welcome back to Connection Point. We're excited to have everybody with us this week on a rainy Tuesday, which should not be a big deal, but it feels like it is because it never rains here. So, cool. Well, hey, we got a lot to do in this meeting. Brent will not be with us this week for our Y4C2Ts. He's out working the polls. Who's voted here? Good. We need you guys to do that. So make sure you get out and get your vote in, and I'm going to jump right in. So, like I said, this is Connection Point. What I would love for you to do real quick is take a look around the room. If there's someone you don't recognize or haven't talked to in a while, go ahead and just get up, say hello, and just take the opportunity to connect. Go. All right. Okay, come on back, come on back, come on back, come on back. All right. If you can hear me, clap once. Hear me clap 2 times. Hear me clap 3 times. Thank you for your off-rhythm clapping. So, hey, good deal. You know, those little moments of connection are important because as realtors, we're independent contractors, and you can kind of get a sense that this is a lone wolf industry. But like I always say, the lone wolf is a death sentence, right? If you've been thrown out of the pack, you die, right? And so it's not what you want to be. We're stronger when we work together. And so we want to continue to build those relationships here in the office because 2 things. 1, you never know when you're going to be on the other side of a deal, right? You want to have that relationship. And 2, you never know when you're going to be in a deal and you need someone's advice or help on that. So continue to connect. Hey, for our culture moment this week, I want to talk about the 6 personal perspectives. This is a cornerstone of Keller Williams. And in particular, I wanted to talk about focusing on the 80-20 principle. Anybody want to shout out what the 80-20 principle is real quick? The Pareto? 20% of the people do 80% of the business. Yeah. It was actually, Pareto was looking at land holdings in Italy. And you notice that 20% of the people own 80% of the land, right? And it applies to almost everything. Is it ever a hard, fast 80-20? No, there's always variations on it. But when we look at our real estate business, when we look at Keller Williams as a company, we want you focused on the 20%. Now, anybody here have a to-do list? Good. This is a mindset shift that I want to talk about here with our culture moment. It's moving from a to-do list to a success list. Mary, you've trained for multiple marathons and Ironmans, correct? It's insane, but it's true, yes? Okay, cool. When you do that, you don't start with, I'm going to run X number of miles, right? How do you do that? How do you break down the training for an Ironman?
Yeah, you first start small, running. So Ironman is a swim, bike, run.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely every day you do start increasing, and towards the end, you're doing long miles.
Yeah.
Everything.
But there's now, did you make up that system of increasing, or did you get a plan from somewhere?
Oh, I had a plan.
All
I
right.
had a coach and
Okay.
a plan on what you do this week, or you do this week, every week.
What I love it, and I love that because if you see the example, which is an eye chart, admittedly, to run a marathon, what we do is we back engineer it to, well, I'm going to have to do these various things, I'm going to have to do these various things, I'm going to have to do these things. I should probably get a coach, right? Step one, right? Step one, get someone to take you through the planning. If you want to be a top producing agent, or you want to get a team, or you want to break through your ceiling of achievement, we don't start with, I want to do 56 units. Well, we start with the goal, what was it? And then we back engineer. To get 56 units, how many contacts am I going to have to make, right? How many appointments am I having to set? And we back engineer that all the way to, what do I need to do today? It's not I have a list of things I have to do. It's what is the one thing I need to do to get me to the next place? Who's running a 411 right now, using the 411 productivity tool? All right, Ann Arbor is good. We'll talk about that. This is
gonna steal it.
One of the things that's a little weird about doing a panel here is we have to hand you a microphone that doesn't do anything in the room. So you feel like it's not working. It is working, but it's for the people at home. So that's so. Yeah, I'll just hand that. Here, why don't you hold that for now, and then we'll go through. Well, hey, so I love the opportunity to get insights into the real estate market from people out of the area, because we know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. And one of the things that you'll hear people say is, well, that's the way we do things. And why, right? The way we do things really is just because that's the habit we've fallen into. When you fall into habits and usual patterns, you miss things. And so to bring in outside eyes, right, from a different market, is something that I really am excited to be able to share with you guys today. So real quick, can you guys introduce yourselves? Because I'm terrible with names. I'm like Dory, so if I try, it's going to be bad. So go for it, yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Hollowell from KW Ann Arbor.
Yep.
Darlene Dresch from KW Ann Arbor, and also we're all on the ALC and member committee chairs for our agency as well.
Todd Roll from Ann Arbor. Darlene's our speaker, so we're going to have her speak for all of us.
There you go.
I am Ann Hernandez-Gabler, and I'm the Director of Operations at the Ann Arbor Market Center.
All right, awesome. So hey guys, one of the things I love to do when I have top producers in is just to get the what did you do before real estate story, because there's no one who was born a realtor. I mean, very few people were born that way. They came out with open house signs. It was awkward. But so what was life before real estate? Just real quick, you know.
Well, this is my 20th year in real estate, actually, as of September. So I started off as a solo agent in a different company other than this one. I wish I would have known Keller Williams beforehand. But you know, we all learn and grow and go from there. I got my broker's license in 2015 and then came to the Keller world. So before real estate, I was a sales trainer. So I worked in the, I sold language and cross-cultural training for the automotive industry. And then I also managed higher-end furniture stores throughout Michigan throughout my 20s and 30s. So it was a fun time to be, in sales. So that's what I did. I was a salesperson.
All right.
So how many people here have heard of those part-time agents and kind of go, oh no? That's how I started.
Okay.
I started there. I was in automotive. Michigan's obviously very big with automotive. We were blessed with 3 little girls, and when we had our second one, my wife says she didn't give me an ultimatum, but 16 hours a day at the plant wasn't cutting it anymore. She's actually the one that pushed me towards real estate, and once you put full-time effort into something, it's amazing what you can build, and I'm grateful for her doing that.
Cool.
So I actually used to live out here, and I'm from Michigan, but I lived out here. I worked for Marriott International and started in the hotel in the hotels themselves, then became a trainer for them, and then started building restaurants and selling restaurants, and I actually still consult with restaurant owners. And then I got into real estate almost 7 years ago, so about 6.5 years ago, and never looked back, and wish I would have done it way sooner. My sister's been doing it for 30 years, and she's been trying to get me to do it forever, and I finally decided, okay, I can do this, and I will be coming back out here. I'm retiring. My husband's retiring from Ford Motor Company in 6 years, and we're moving back out here, so you will see my face. We're going to start a team out here in the next year or two. So.
Welcome to Keller Williams Riverside. We're excited to have you. Which office? Well, got a lovely spot I can show you.
Just shut everything off. Meeting's over.
So before real estate, I worked in probably 100 different restaurants, sold RVs for about 1.5 years, and did freelance web-page content writing because I have a degree in journalism, which didn't really pay the bills. So I've been in real estate with Keller Williams Ann Arbor since 2018, so going into my 5th year. And I'll probably be sleeping in Darlene's basement when she moves out here. She doesn't know that yet, but so it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, what I'd love to kind of get a sense of is the market is shifting, right? I think right now in our market we're about 20% off what I would consider a normal year, right? What are you guys seeing out kind of on a national level? I guess in your little piece of the world there in Ann Arbor.
In terms of shifting?
Yeah. What's the market doing right now?
Right now, people are nervous. I guess that's what I see with clients. Sellers are nervous; they're not going to get what they want for their house. Buyers are nervous because rates are skyrocketing. not historically, but compared to 2%, yeah, they're out of control. So that's a lot of what I'm seeing. I mean, my business is still staying pretty steady. But I think, you know, the big thing will be what happens in the springtime. I think that's kind of what everybody's waiting for.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
Ours, I mean, it's kind of, we have snow in the winter, so our market kind of slows down,
What are the odds?
you know,
Seasonally.
seasonally anyways. And with COVID, it didn't happen the last 2 years.
Right.
So this year, we're kind of getting back to that seasonal market. And I think, you know, for most of us and what we try to, you know, teach other agents too that are starting out and have never been through something is be that teacher, be that educator. Because if you are, your businesses can, you know, not only sustain it, but they can grow during this time as well.
Now, what does that mean, be that teacher, that educator? What-
I think a lot of people, you know, the interest rates, right? Like, they're so afraid of the interest rates. Work with a loan, you know, a mortgage lender that does a 2-1, you know, has a 2-1 buy down program that you can, you know, talk to other agents about, because a lot of other companies aren't talking about those things.
Mhm.
And I know you guys have them because they gave us flyers on it yesterday at the
Oh, yeah.
PLC.
Yeah.
You know, and talk to people about, you know, you're gonna marry the home, not, you know, the sales price, not the interest rate. You know,
The payment. Yeah.
Right, you know, the interest rate, you're just dating that, because you get to refinance it at some point anyways. But, you know, those are the types of things, and to talk to people, especially investors. Our investors were starting to come out of the woodwork again, you know, during COVID when the prices were high, they didn't want to do it. Now they're starting to come back. You know, and it's time for you, like, I love that you guys are doing the book club, we should do a book club.
The education committee said
And so I like that, because you're teaching people a new segment, you know, and, you know, I talked to a couple of people yesterday, and I'm not sure if they were here in Temecula, but they were talking about how they can do commercial and, you know, be that teacher for your clients, but then also, you know, be that educator where that continuing education, look for things that are gonna make you more of an expert in something and double down on that, right? Like, you don't have to be all things to everyone. Find that piece that you're really gonna be good at, so that you can go out and people will trust you because you're gonna have the information that they're gonna need to be making smart financial decisions.
Okay, cool. Nate?
Yeah, just to piggyback off that a little bit, we came out of a market where you list a house on a Thursday or Friday and it's gone before the open house. So for us, for our team specifically, I tell them to set that expectation that we're no longer in that market at that listing appointment, which prevents having that angst when we don't sell in the first 4 days. God forbid it's 10 days instead of, you know, 30 offers in 2 days. But if you don't set that expectation right up front, you'll have an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And know the market at the moment, because it's changing every day. So stay on top of the data.
Yeah.
And I think from a market center perspective, you know, really it's helping agents that may not have been through a market like a normal market. You know, most of the agents, I would say, in our area, you know, haven't been in more than 10 years.
Right.
And so, you know, if you haven't gone through a market where it takes longer than 3 days to sell a house, you know, that's a different skill set that you need to have. You know, that communication, you know, how to look at the market, how to tell people what's happening with it. Those are skills that they need to have.
Okay, cool. So, and this is, I love that, and it's very true. You know, there are a lot of agents. Do you know the business book Who Moved the Cheese or whatever? Do you remember that book?
A long time
It's
ago.
about rats, and the rats are the ones who don't stand there going, "Where's the cheese?" They go find the cheese, right? There's a lot of agents right now who are saying, "Where's the cheese?" Right? What are you doing right now? How are you? So the market's doing what it's doing. How are you adapting to that? What's changing about your business, if anything? What are you kind of leaning into that maybe you weren't before? What are you leaning out of? Right?
I'm gonna give, you guys are agents, so they wanna hear from you on that.
Yeah, so I'm actually very passionate about this. When I decided to start the team a couple years ago, we decided to lean heavy into our clients and love on them a lot. We host at least 4 events a year, and then we do giveaways in between that, mostly paid by our allied partners, but just loving on your people. We heard being authentic a lot yesterday. That really sits well with me in my area too. Just being authentic and being with your people in your community and giving back. Sports teams, it's not always me putting my name on it either. Like, we have a gala event that we sponsor and we don't put anything up there. But we go and we be in the community. Like I said, I have 3 little girls and a wife that's big in the community too, and people know me because of all the hair they see when we walk down the street, right? So, you know, it's, hey, your dad's that guy. I was like, yeah, you know, those are my kids. But just loving on your community and being authentic, it's really helped. The events are a big deal. Everybody can do a different kind of event. I love the pies at the market center. That's great. But do what feels good to you. 'Cause if you're trying to push another event that somebody's doing, or you do the whole, do you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate every time you talk to someone, it's not going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're the same way. We don't market. Everything in our business is referral based, and you know we do that by really doubling down, and we're doing that even more so with our database. And
Well, hold on a second, because you said we don't market, but then you said your referral, then you said your so what is that, what are you doing in your database?
It's kind of the same thing with Todd. Yeah, we do a lot with events and things, but we have what's called a volunteer calendar. So we're helping other people. A lot of people, especially this time of year, they're looking for places like, where can I donate? Where can I go volunteer my time? Or some people are kind of, they're like, I can't really afford to donate, but I could go help out. So we do a different charity every month, and we put a sign up, Genius together, and we send it out to our database. We encourage them to invite friends, family, coworkers, and we find out from the charities what's an event or what's something that you need right now, and what day and what month would be best for you for us to get volunteers for. And so we coordinate all of that. They coordinate what we're gonna do. All we do is put the smart plan together and send it out. And then we do the reminders when they sign up, we let them know. And and they do, they bring people. It's a way for us to stay connected with them. It's like-minded people. We're also in a really big medical community. University of Michigan is probably 75% of my business. Comes from the doctors and the professors and things there. So we also help them. Match Day is coming up in March, which is when all the medical residents are coming in. So we help them sell our community to the potential doctors coming into town. And and they're part of our database. So they may not buy and sell with us themselves, but they're gonna have medical residents, and we probably have 1,500 of those that come into Ann Arbor every year. And so we pick 6 or 7 different offices and different areas of the hospital that we really stay on. But I think the biggest thing is when you have a database, those people, like I love the pies as well, find things that they need. Not everybody in your database needs the same thing. And so use command and tag them. Ro and I were talking about that earlier today. Tag them and tag them differently for things that they need. I have medical residents. I know in 4 years they're gonna sell a house because they're only here for 4 years and they're gonna leave. So I make sure I stay in touch with them, and then we start educating them on what the listing process is gonna be like the following, after when they're the year before they're gonna leave. So they don't have to think about that. Like we're doing that for them. And and so just find the need for the people that you love in your database, and just keep pouring into them, because they're the ones that already know you, like you, trust you. They're going to refer you.
Yeah.
And because they have a great experience with you, and in social media, Todd's really good at this too. In your social media, that's another way to love on your database. I know my database. Todd and I were out here for our birthdays this weekend, and everybody.
42 today.
I'm not that young, but like clients, and I even saw on his Facebook page, clients are telling us happy birthday, and people that have come to our volunteer events. But, the other thing is too, we don't give away gifts for closing gifts. We make a donation to the charity of our client's choice, and in an amount based on the price point of their house. So it can go anywhere from $250 to $1,000 to the charity of their choice. And they love that. And then the charity sends a thank you card to them.
That's awesome.
From us saying thank you for your donation.
What I love is, I say this all the time, realtors, if we do our job right, we have the opportunity to make communities better, right? I mean, really, truly, you can. And what I'm hearing is, the way we work in our database is we make Ann Arbor better, right? We get people out to volunteer, we help the local, nonprofits, we do that. And it's a total come from contribution, right? And, I want to emphasize, you said we don't market, it doesn't mean they're not in the database. I mean, you're working consistently, there's spark plans, there's a lot of touches going on, right? And we're mobilizing people in a way. That's fantastic.
And our dollars are put there. So
Yeah.
our dollars are going back into the community versus in just, creating marketing materials.
Nice.
Yes.
It's always hard to
I'm
talk
sorry,
after
what was the
dark.
topic here? Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, I still feel like the new guy. This is my first year on the ALC, so a lot of, I mean, sometimes I mean, sometimes I just listen to these guys and I'm like, would that work for me? Yes, I'll apply it. But what they said, I mean, yeah, I lean heavily on my database. I grew up in Ann Arbor, so a lot of those people I've known forever. You know, and just looking for like genuine reasons to contact them, birthdays, home anniversaries, stuff like that. Another thing that I do, I mean, I do some marketing. Direct mail has been really good for me. Not just like mailers, but also the Golden Letter. I've done those, and that's been, I mean, I had 2 sales directly from Golden Letters this past year, and another like 3 to 5 solid leads that will sell, you know, in the future. So
What I love is he said Golden Letter, and Todd was like, wait, that was here, right? That's Alice and Brent, who kind of
Yep.
kicked that thing into the KW world.
I was, well, thank you, Allison.
Yeah.
They are, what do they call them, celebrities?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. So you're involved in video too, yeah?
Yeah, really cool.
Who, me?
Yeah, you, yeah.
Yeah, and I do videos. I just put them on YouTube. I share them with clients. You know, I have MailChimp set up, so if I do a new video and I think it's interesting for clients, I'll send that out. The most recent one I did, I just reached 50 home sales, so I gave away, I do Cutco, so I gave away one of my Cutco knives, and I did a video for it. And it was Halloween, so I dressed up like Walter White.
So 5 years, 50 units is what I just heard, yeah?
Yes.
Nice, nice, good deal. You know, I love to ask questions. I'm very good at it. But I'm wondering if maybe you guys have some questions to shoot out. I wanted to do one more before I throw it to you. As we were talking in sort of the agent lounge area, the smart plans came up, command came up. I know some of you guys are running teams, and you're running command at a high level. Tell me about that experience, because I'd love to get some insight.
Yeah, so how many people come into lead gen, they sit down at their desk, and they're like, shoot, who do I call, what do I do, right? That was me. And then when I realized, when command first came on, I'm kind of a tech guy anyway, I got a chance to beta test it. Once you started putting those plans in there, you would get a task out of that. And it's just a simple, hey, call this person today. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not actually being told what to do, just like at home. Which sometimes doesn't work as well, but it just dumbs it down for you. You know who to call. It's a quarterly call. It's a social media touch. It's a home anniversary. We send brownies out through, send out cards. It's all there for you. And by 11, you know, I do the normal, 9 to 11 lead gen. I can get through 20, 30 touches before, you know, the rest of our day. And it just dumbs it down and makes it really easy.
Yeah, I love that. So how long did it take you to get set up to a point where you just sit down, your tasks are there, and you roll?
The hardest part was the initial dump into command, right? You got to get all those people in there. You go through your phone, you go through your Facebook, get them in there. I would say if you have access to, we use cyberbackers or VAs or anybody that can get them in there. If that's your pain point where you haven't got them in there, pay the $100, get them in there, $50, whatever it is, or get someone to get them in there. Because once you get them in there and you start seeing how the touches work and all the different notifications that you get, the data, the feedback that you get, it's kind of addictive for me. Like, I love it, right? And then now with teams with command, I can go and see what my agents are doing and see, report out there too.
Cool. How many people on the team?
I have 3 other agents, and then we have a TC and a head.
Good. And just to give me a sense, because I know volume kind of varies by market,
Yeah.
but unit count wise.
50 is our goal. We are failing forward just a little bit on that this year.
Okay.
But we're going to be real close. It's going to be close at the end.
Okay, cool. And I should have done this in the beginning, but unit count right around where we at? Like,
For us, I have 6 people on my team. There's 4 agents, a virtual assistant through Cyberbacker, and then a social media director that does all of your social media. And we're going to be just shy of 65 this year.
okay.
And we have a big push in the last part of the year. So.
Cool. Now you guys were saying that, and you mentioned 50 units. We just cracked that boundary, right?
But yeah, that was all time. So
Okay.
last year I did 24. This year I'll probably do just under 20, but my price point went way up. So volume wise, I'm looking better than last
And
year.
they kind of had a baby a few months ago.
Yeah,
they have a busy
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like, he's like the most humble guy there is.
Well, yeah.
I do videos with 1,000 likes.
Good Good deal. So now, who is in command? Are you guys all using it? Or are you kind of okay? Good deal. What is what is one feature right now where you're like couldn't live without it?
I'd say smart plans. I mean,
Oh,
that's
smart plans
for sure.
without a doubt, without a
Okay.
doubt. Just having that, backup there, because brain fog hits before I get my coffee in, and it's before you're supposed to shut your phone off for everybody else, but the kids will text you or FaceTime you, kind of lose track. My bunker could be better, but that task sheet always brings me back, right? And we did Facebook ads for a long time. We recently just stopped, not because we weren't getting a ton of leads, almost because we were getting too many, and I wanted to reinvest in how we followed up with that with my agents before we just kept throwing money at it. So that's where we are now. We were at probably 1 out of 150 that we would close out of there, but it was less than $1 a lead where we were at. We run them for all of our listings still. The agent that's listing that house gets all those leads back into it. And what it does too is it funnels their database, right? It feeds their database. So we just, drip on them, touch on them with all of our smart plans. Once, they start showing more interest that they're gonna come in and do some business, we will put them to another smart plan. There's a transition there. And our admin will actually help us with that too.
I love that. That's great.
And one of the things too is talking about Facebook ads. We send Facebook ads out as well, and we use the map that shows where the majority of the people are coming from for relocation, because I do a lot, like I said, for the hospital. We find out where the top 10 cities are that are moving into Ann Arbor, and we send our Facebook ads out there. And then if you have a hospital around here that does medical residence, we also send Facebook ads out to the top medical school communities, the cities with the top medical schools around the country that we know potentially would be coming into Ann Arbor as well. So you can be really strategic with those. It may not be people, currently in your community that are looking to purchase, where it could be somebody else, and you get to set it, right? Like if you only want to spend $20, you spend $20. If you want to spend $50 because you're getting a lot from that area, you can do that. That's what I like about that. And it's part of our listing presentation, right? Like we're not only gonna market your property to people here, we're gonna market it to the top 10 cities around the country that move here.
Which is built into Command. Those
Yeah, it's all in
migrations are
Command.
built
Yeah,
in. You can
it's
get
great.
that data right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool. Good deal. Anybody else? Yeah. Nope. Okay, good. Hey, good. So what questions do you have, right? Sam.
You touched on that a little bit about your database, yeah, you log on your database and everything, and just like stagnant water, okay, once it, only could go so far. So that's what is the one thing that you do to feed your database that really works pretty good, number one. Number two, how did you, or how long does it take for that particular name that you add in to become actually an actual client?
So as far as feeding your database, you're talking about leads, or you're talking about messages?
Just adding to your database.
So, good question, and one, I'm gonna answer it because I know you're a black belt, and I don't wanna I was gonna ask you, is your book club mandatory?
Yes.
So as far as us, we broke it down, Martin Bowman is a big agent, like one of the top 100, I believe.
If you read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Martin Bowman.
Yeah,
in there.
He had this little sheet that he got, and it was like, hey, do these things today, and it's a successful day. And one of the things we broke down into is our daily task sheet, is what we call it, is to add 2 people to that. What we didn't realize is how many people we met throughout the day with our kids, with our spouses, just everyday stuff that we ran into that are in our phone, that we have all the data, we just weren't putting them in. So that gives us a second to just break it down and say, hey, I have to add 2 people a day into here, right? So reports is another tab in Command for teams that's fantastic. And I look at that during our one-on-ones on every Friday to see, who's bringing that contact up. Because I think we were just talking about it, Dan. I think the goal is 200, right? 200 contacts for new agents.
Now that
Minimum,
KWRI has data with enough people using Command, they've actually gone in and seen, I believe, people that have 201 contacts average $116,000 of GCI. So as they're going into this shift, they're making a big push to empower, I believe it's 100,000 agents that are earning over $100,000 in GCI, and they have the data now to show what you specifically have to have as it relates to the number of contacts in your Command to make that happen. And as Todd said, the system is set up So you can't fail it. It's saying, hey, do this today.
And command is only getting better. The more data that we get, the more, accurate we're gonna be. And then your second part of that question, and you guys can answer too, as far as when do we see that part of the business? For us, we'll get those fresh hot leads right off the rip. Someone say, hey, I gotta sell my house today. And what we didn't realize in the beginning, the reason why they called us right then is because of our social media. It's because of our events. We were top of mind when that need came up, right? So they happen right away. But I would say the majority of them are gonna fall in the 6 month to a year, and we got to work those guys through that, because I want to buy a house. I don't know how you guys are, like the hair on my neck sticks. I was like, hey, and we put them in opportunities. Opportunities is fantastic too. It's just I've seen your guys' boards out there. We call it our whiteboard. If you put those opportunities in there, it lets you know where they're at and make sure that you reach out to them.
You don't forget about them.
Yeah, and for us, when we're loving on our database, and we have what I consider 3 databases, right? Because not everybody is necessarily in command for us. Because how many people have social media? It's a database, right? How many people have an iPhone or a cell phone of any type? It's a database. And all those people might not necessarily be in your command, but those are people, and it's just through touches. And like I said, we have a social media director, so that we can make sure that they're constantly watching the social media, because we don't always have time to do that if we want to live the life we want to live, right? Watching social media. So we try to make things relevant. We watch our social media and we see what's relevant in people's lives. Like right now, like I said, is, people are really into volunteering. It's, Giving November, right? So we're really doing a lot of stuff and giving people opportunities to do that. In December, we'll change it to something else. In January, we'll change it to something else. So it's knowing the people that you surround yourself with and that are in your database. And I would say, we get about 10 to 15%, like I said, out of command. But we don't put people truly 100% in command until we're having that conversation with them about buying or selling or investing. And then, our investor clients, we typically will get a sale out of them every 12 to 18 months if it's an investor client. If it's somebody who's just buying and selling, again, if it's medical, it's usually every 2 to 4 years, depending on what program they're in. If they're a fellowship, it's usually 2. If it's a medical resident, it's usually 4. And then if it's an attending, they could be here forever. It just depends on if they're married or not and have kids. We'll know what, if they're gonna do that 5 to 7 years. But keep track of those too. Have your closing dates in there and keep track of that, because there's statistical data that shows everybody moves between every 5 and 8 years, right? So make sure if you sold somebody a house 5 years ago, you wanna make sure that they're on, whatever smart plan you're sending out there. I always have everybody on a monthly. Once they're in command, they're getting, a monthly neighborhood nurture and understanding what their market's doing in their neighborhood. And if it's somebody who says, maybe in the next year we might sell, then sometimes I go to a buy, monthly, where they're getting them twice a month. So it just really depends on the people. But I would say on average, most people, if it's not them themselves, we're getting, a lead or a contact from them at least every 12 months of somebody who wants to buy or sell a house.
Any other questions?
We got time,
Yeah, Bob.
how many touches do you guys average with the client on a yearly basis?
With a client contact, what qualify that?
Like,
Just
what is your-
anybody in the database?
Yeah, somebody in your command. Somebody in your, what's your,
My program is not as zeroed in as these guys. I'm a solo agent, so it's always work in progress. I don't know if that's an excuse, but I'll shoot for 1 a month, and it all depends. It all depends on how well I know them. But just making it a point to keep in touch with people, even of course after the sale. I had a client tell me the other day she was talking to a friend of hers, and then her friend was like, "You still talk to your realtor?" I thought that was weird, and I was, you get to know these people throughout that process. You do become friends, so continue that relationship after, because of course they know people, and of course probably in however many years they're going to buy or sell again.
Yeah, we have 36 to 42, depending on where they're at in command, and what process they're in right at the time. Once they start getting closer to within that 12 months, then it goes up to 42, but usually it's 36. and Todd and I were talking about, those are soft touches, like, we're not annoying them. You know, we're giving them information and educating them on things that they want to know. We're getting them involved in our community the way they let us know they want to be involved. And then on our social media, we go in and we at least like 25 different people's stuff, and then we post at least to 10 to 15 per day per social media platform, and you have to do at least 5 words. If you want it to count so that it starts putting you in more feeds, you have to do at least 5 words.
So you're liking 25, you're commenting on at least 15.
At least, yeah, 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes she
that's what
does
you
more, it
meant
just
by
depends.
post, you meant commenting on, you're not.
Commenting on their post.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
you're not
And then
posting
anybody
something.
who comments on ours, we make sure they're responded to
Yeah.
right away.
How many would you say you do a week on Facebook?
How many posts?
Personal posts that you send out?
On my personal page, I probably do 3 to 4 a day. On Facebook, link.
Not all business.
No, not all business, and don't keep it all business. Make it like your personal page. Let people know who you are, authentically you, right? Like, we'll put, you know, business stuff on there. Don't just share from your business page. Actually, copy and paste it on your personal page and your business page. Our business page, there's at least 2 to 3 a day. On our personal page, like I said, we do, on my Facebook page, I do more. LinkedIn, I wanna say we do 1 every other day. We do videos, so we do a static post on LinkedIn, then we'll do the video a couple days later, and then we transcribe the video into an article, and then we post that a couple days later. So that, because everybody looks and reads differently, or
What I want to highlight is,
Talk about your level.
social media is not accidental, there's a model.
It's intentional.
yeah, it's
There's a
intentional.
model, it's
Yeah.
intentional, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this.
And that's why we have the one person who does it. And she only works part-time for us. She actually does social media marketing for multiple industries, you know, but that's what she does. And so, you know, we pay her by the hour. She tells us how many hours a week she puts into it and shows us what we're gonna do. And a lot of times, she schedules all those posts a month out. Like, every holiday's already scheduled for the whole year. She schedules it for as far out as she can. You know, so those are things, and if you put it on Facebook, you can connect it to Instagram and it automatically goes up, or vice versa. So those are things that, you know, that she does. How she does all of it, I have no clue, because I'm 53 and she's 24. So, she
Get
does,
yourself a 24-year-old.
right, and that's what she went to school for, and there's a lot of people who have, and they love that stuff. And, you know, for $20 or $25 an hour, for a couple hours, you know, a week, they can really change the trajectory of your business, and give you the leverage to live your life, you know. And I used to work for Martin Baume, so did Stephen. We both were on his team at one time, and when I first got hired in, I told him, I said, you know, I'm getting into real estate so that I'm not working 80 hours like I was in restaurants, and I said I don't want to work more than 40 hours a week, and I don't, because I leverage out that stuff. And, you know, if you're more controlling, my business partner is, than I am. I'm okay letting it go. Give it to that person, and until they fail you, let them run with it. If that's their, surround yourself with people who like to do the things you don't, and you focus all your time on the things you like to do, and let them do the other stuff. And you'll grow your business to what you want it to be, right? Like, you know, could we grow bigger? We hire agents on because there's a need in a community and they want to be part of our team. So then we make our umbrella bigger. And, you know, if they don't, I'm not going into Detroit because I want to be selling in Detroit. It's, you know, it's 30 to 45 minutes for me to drive every day. I don't want to do that. But I have an agent who does. So now we just started our team in Detroit. And because that umbrella needed to get bigger for him for what he wanted to do. So, you know, think about things like that too when you bring people on. Don't just grow to grow. Have a reason for it and create the plan, you know, and have the models and the systems to help other people. I mean, that's why people do it.
Well, we are closing in on our time here, and I know I've got to get the home team up to kind of come, because they're nice enough to provide us with lunch today. So any final thoughts from you guys before I let you get off the hot seat here?
Well, we heard it yesterday, and I've been joking about it, but as you can tell, I'm super serious all the time. I'm making jokes, but that's me being authentic. Do the same. Be yourself. Be authentic. We all heard that yesterday. It's that simple for me.
Cool.
You know, this is fourth quarter, so as Chris said, this is go time. This is where people quit. So you need to double down, do the homework you need to do, be strategic in your plan for next year, and start implementing the things that are gonna run your business into 2023, so just keep it going.
And, you know, for those of you, like when Bob is in there, we're
Yes.
talking about social media. Go borrow other people's stuff, you know?
It's called R&D.
Often duplicate, go do it. If you wanna go, it's Dresch and Restaurant Realtors is our business page.
What's it again called?
Dresch, D-R-E-S-C-H, and Restrick, R-E-S-T-R-I-C-K. Or Darlene Dresch is my personal, go take stuff off of it. You know, and you know, change it up, right? And a lot of those posts, we do a lot of stuff in Canva, but a lot of stuff is done right in Command too. Use those posts, they're already made, go use them.
Yeah, Ann touched on that a little bit. It's the fourth quarter, so I'm working hard right now. Like, I'm not taking time off, really. Came out here, but we're working. So, you know, because not only is our business extremely seasonal in Michigan, I'm sure it is here too a little bit, but I mean, wintertime, people go to sleep. And agents do too, and they take time off. And I mean, we're working hard. It's like, let's make quarter one fantastic.
Yeah, because you're working right now for you know,
90 days
January and
out.
February.
Yeah.
That's your business right now.
Right, like planning for next year and trying to implement new systems and what can I do better. You know, and one other thing I wanted to mention, I probably had 3 or 4 listings this year off of random people that called me and they're like, hey, I saw your whatever online. So I just try to cast a wide net. I mean, that's my Realtor.com profile, that's my Zillow profile, that's my Google business page, YouTube, whatever. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with, but you know, one way or another, those people found me online and just called me directly. So, I mean, use all those, and they're all free. I mean, set up all those profiles because people see them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys very much. We love having you here with us. Culture, it's Bensinger culture. I'm pretty sure if you had a question and you got on the phone and called one of these people, they would be like, never call me again.
Well, it's so late. It's 10 o'clock here.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a time change you need. Yeah, and that, so reach out and take advantage of the incredible culture that we have here. We wanted real quick just to say thank you for your service to some of our agents, some of our veterans who are here in the Market Center. And I love, this is one of my favorite pictures ever. Thank you for your service. Now you joined the Army, how old were you when you joined the Army? 10. 22, okay. And you, what was, now when did you serve from when to when?
1998 till like 2001.
Very nice. Well, thank you. Thank you for that service, and she runs her team with military efficiency. But we really are grateful for your service to our country. Of course, Arthur Edwards. Hey. I don't think Arthur was working on nuclear reactors in the Army.
How dare
That's a
you.
Navy man right there. And,
Make sure you change that really quick. Don't
it's
tell
a good
him.
thing he's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arthur, a Navy vet, worked with nuclear reactors and very proud of his time in service. If you have a little time, talk to Arthur sometime about his experience. We were at Business Planning Clinic last week, and he was sharing with me, you know, he grew up on a plantation, you know, where basically he said you could see through the walls, you know, and this was his opportunity, and he's made quite a life. And so really something to take the opportunity to get to know. Jules Farmer, I don't know if he knows, but Jules Farmer has quite a history in the Air Force, Air Force Reserves. She was one of the pioneers for the drones that we see in combat now, flying from March Air Force Base. But when that program came in, she was one of the first and one of the trainers. And so, how many lives have been saved that way? So thank you, Jules. And then Juan and Cynthia from the home team are here with us today, and I think that's a great segue, guys. Why don't you come on up and tell us a little bit
Thanks for following.
And here's your microphone for people at home. So,
thank you.
come on up, guys.
Give it to me. I'm helping you.
Hi guys, yes, as you mentioned, Cynthia and I, you know, a few years ago. He was actually taking in the aircraft carrier of the Ronald Reagan. We were both stationed there. That's where we both met. That's where we fell in love. That's where we everything. We actually fell in love in Dubai. I don't know if that's how you got but that's where we actually met. And like for the first, we met in the ship, but for the first time that we got together was in Dubai. But we were there. Well, we did 10 years. You did 5 years, and we were so proud and every day. Thank you guys. Thank you for that. Well, we are the owners of Home Team Inspection Services. We do home inspections. So some of you know us, some of you don't, but you know, and we are the best. I'm just saying that. We are. We do home inspections, and we do it in half time. So literally, it takes us an hour and a half. Usually, it takes us around an hour and a half, depending on the house and everything. And you know, there's always 2 inspectors at every job site. Uniform, wrap car, everything. We speak Spanish, and you get the report within 24 hours. And you know, within 24 hours, recently, especially you know, the house. So if you guys don't know us, that's who we are. We're Home Team Inspection Services, and we're here. We brought you guys lunch. Okay, so
I would like to add some commercials, if you don't mind, please. Because we are very passionate about that and helping other brothers and sisters. So we are in a VHA.
So we're in a non-profit organization called the VHA. So it stands for Veteran Housing Alliance. And what the VHA is, before she gets to this, the VHA helps veterans pay for their closing costs. So if you ever have a veteran, you're doing, you know, they already have a VA loan, they have 0 down and stuff like that. But you know, they could apply for this grant because it's a grant. They don't have to pay nothing back. They help them. It all depends on their situation. Sometimes they cover 100% of it, or up to 50% of the closing costs. It's, you know, $10,000, they'll cover $5,000. So that's a help for them. And the more it grows, the more we can do hundreds, right? But this Thursday, what she was mentioning, was the casino night. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to invite everybody to have fun and donate some money for all our veterans now that we are celebrating Veterans Day. So I want to invite you, Casino Night.
Yep.
So
it's a casino night. This is going to be in Pomona in the Derby Room. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but it's going to be a fun night. All the proceeds, every single thing goes to the veterans, to the VHA, and it's just fun, right? It's fun. We gather, you know, I know right now, I don't even remember, right? In the morning I checked and it was almost full. So if you guys want to join us, this is going to be a great event. Yeah.
So saying something like that is because we like to give back. Like everybody was talking, give back to the community. So we are attached to that. We involved in the community. We like to be involved. In the Women's Council, I will be the treasurer for 2023. You know, I give my I like to be involved in everything. So thank you.
Yes, I know. I heard. I picked in and I heard about the community and how you guys serve the community and stuff like that. And that's something that we are very passionate about because that's where we live, right? That's where we are. That's where we live. That's where our kids grow up. So why not help? And that's where we are.
Awesome. Thank you. Lastly, real quick, today's contest for Christmas tickets is number of contacts. Who had made the most contacts last week? And we have a number of people participating in bold right now. So it's honor system. This is Keller Williams. We can trust each other. So who wants to go out with number of contacts last week? Anybody want to shout out? Anybody think they got a winner?
109.
109. David Borja, 109. Anybody beat 109?
Who else is keeping track?
David Borja, you are our winner. Congratulations. How many calls to get 109 contacts?
I'm sorry?
How many calls to get to 109 contacts?
Oh, it's a lot. Well, I had an event. Last week, so that helped me a lot. I had 47 contacts out of that event. I did it with Edward, and then just calling people the whole week. And I'm involved, so it was a must to make that requirement.
There you go. I love it. So if you want to succeed, put yourself in a position where you can not succeed, and that's the hack. So good deal, guys. We'll lunch in the kitchen. Make sure you connect with each other, and if you haven't gotten in your 100 contacts, now's the time. Don't miss it.
And if you want lunch, go out that door
and come around. If you want to annoy me, come this way. And also, don't forget, Jada, our coffee girl, is out in the front.
Oh, that's right,
Perfect
Jada.
day for coffee.
Yeah.
All right.
Who won the golf tournament then? Did you pick a name yet?
Not yet, yeah.
The hell, man?
I put it on the back burner.
Hurry up.
About it. Alright, Tyler TV.
Are you going to this one?
Yes.
I want to win.
Yeah.
Put your name on the list for
I told Sam.
Yeah,
already.
put it
You know how she is.
No, can you put it on there?
Not easy on her, but she's I literally said, hey, Christmas party, and then she's like,
wife, right?
Sorry, I'm so
yeah, just a minute.
How are you? Oh, wait.
I'm not like, what? I know, we have to do it. I was thinking that last night, I was like,
Working hard, right?
yeah. I saw him on video. This is Manny, this is not our lender, but I did. Yeah, we'll do it. I was like looking at different like different things to draw. You can be here for a while.
The only thing is that those ones in the back, they're my needs. It's funny because I tag them because they like, oh, you know that. So I tag them on the post and then I see them propose your stuff and stuff. Like, you never propose my stuff. Like, oh, hey. They follow me. I was like, oh, what did I do?
But sorry, anybody that I saw that was like following like a realtor buddy, I'm like, yeah,
It's alright. And I was like, hey, you never proposed my stuff. When are you guys running?
We're gonna do it today. Yeah, we gotta do it today. I need to start practicing. It's terrible. I went out last week, like just the driving range. It's like, oh, everything's really. I haven't golfed in like 3 months. That's been like at least. Yeah. So yeah, actually Sunday though. Yeah. I never been there before now. That's good. My best is 102. Yeah, I kept track one time and it was like 101. Like, that's cool. I don't want to keep track of it all, like, then I have to like do it, you know.
Signed up.
Oh, nice. There we go. Pretty fun. It's kind of like going to the bowling alley. You know, you just drink it. Is it by time? They have different, well, you go by time. So you'll buy like a block of, I think it's like 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And then you just keep adding time to it. It's fun.
I just look at my list.
Are you going to the Christmas party? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep together on the golf course. So that's it's the same day as the golf thing. Oh yeah, yeah, golfing. Because I figured out the teacher actually go. We'll figure it out. Just make it like an all day or all nighter.
Next Friday?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll still show this time. What's that? I know the whole thing, like that whole like cashmere. That was one of the best parts. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's really good. Yeah. Freaking Holly. Dude, that's the owner. Why is she wearing that? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll find something. I don't know. I don't care if it's good or something. I didn't have like a
Winning tickets. I'll send you the numbers.
You don't talk to me anything about real estate.
No, especially the younger people.
Thank you.
Oh, we gotta finish our, I have to finish onboarding her, but let's connect a little bit later, okay? And I want to talk to this guy. Yeah, do you want to eat first? Do you want to get some food? Okay, yeah, we just have a couple more pages and we're good to go. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to. No, let's do it right now. Thank you for staying. Yeah, everything. I think you guys are being here. That's great.
Great. How about any family members that you may know at the moment? That you may know at the moment? No, not really. That's fair.
How you guys doing?
And then just kind of follow up with them, right? Not just call them, look up their address. You see when is their home anniversary, like they were mentioning on Tayo, and then you can see when is their home anniversary. You send them a card, and then you can now give them, put them into your command and give them monthly neighborhood updates and whatnot.
Also, Command, you run ads at all? Like, do you mind?
I know, Brandon. Nice to meet you.
I feel like I met you already.
No, I don't think so, Brandon.
Okay,
Nice to meet
okay.
you. I got a friend who works they did work from Ontario, so maybe like I've been to like a party where like Renee was at, so maybe. Oh,
Nice. Oh, I think it's
Right.
Good on camera.
Yeah, thank you. Is it still on?
Yeah, I
Kind of caught me off guard.
It's not
going down anymore. I think the cameras are live, but I don't think it's
no,
being broadcast.
I know, yeah.
I just finished it.